During an interview last week, Rick Wilson, one of the co-founders of the Lincoln Project, made it clear that their next target, now that they're essentially done with Donald Trump, for now, is Ted Cruz. Republican Senator Ted Cruz is the one that they have in their sights, and the reasons are pretty obvious, right? Ted Cruz has always been a good little Republican, doing everything that good little Republicans ought to do. You know, he pushes for tax breaks. He pushes for deregulation. He fights back any kind of progressive measure in Congress. But his mortal sin, according to the Lincoln Project, was not all of that. The mortal sin was throwing in his lot with Donald Trump, especially after Donald Trump repeatedly pretty much went through Ted Cruz's entire family tree and just insulted every single one on there. Ted Cruz said, "Thank you, sir. May I have another?" And continued to bow down before Trump, where Trump would kick him and insult him. And Ted Cruz again would be like, "Oh, I like it. Do more." In that creepy little Ted Cruz voice of his. Now, I don't disagree with the Lincoln Project going after Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz obviously needs to be gone after. Ted Cruz has been a blight on the U.S. Senate ever since he entered it. His sucking up to Trump, his willingness to serve, to offer himself up as Trump's attorney, if he got to take the legal challenge all the way to the United States Supreme Court for the election challenge. that all came out very wrong. He offered to be Trump's lawyer if his election challenge made it all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. There. Whew. I don't know why that was tough, but it was. But anyway, we continue moving along. So anyway, and then Ted Cruz, of course, as we all know, he objected to Arizona and Pennsylvania's electoral college votes when it came time to certify the election. Ted Cruz is now a Donald Trump Republican. And he has been pushing these election lies since the election day because he wants to gain Donald Trump's base, much like Josh Hawley does, so that he can use it when he runs for president again in 2024. The Lincoln Project wants to put the brakes on that before the train even gets out of the station. They want to make sure that Ted Cruz is so damaged that no Republican outside the state of Texas, and maybe not even enough in the state of Texas, would even consider voting for this man again for any office. And look, I have been super critical of the Lincoln Project since day one. You know, I never, ever trusted them. And honestly, I still don't. But they're doing good work. And I'm going to let them keep doing that. But I'm also going to always keep an eye on them because these individuals are the same ones who for decades pushed the idea of trickle-down economics on us. These are all the same individuals who helped lie us into the Iraq War and the Afghanistan War and all these other international conflicts that we now can't seem to get out of. They're responsible for packing the judiciary with conservative judges that have taken away our rights, both as human beings and as consumers and workers. I don't trust them. I don't like them. I don't want to be allied with them. But I'll be damned if I'm going to stop them from doing this work because one thing Republicans always do better than Democrats is put out attack ads. And that is what the Lincoln Project does best. So as long as they're going to go after Donald Trump or Ted Cruz or maybe even Hawley next, more power to you. You won't ever get a dime from me. You probably won't even get that many words of praise. But you do what you do, we'll do what we do, and hopefully we don't ever have to go against each other. Keep taking down these pro-Trump Republicans, but also don't expect to try to remake the Democrat into something further to the right than it already is. And that, folks, is why I am so skeptical of what the Lincoln Project does. They're doing this because they expect something in return. And they're not going to get anything in return from the Republican Party, so that return must be coming from the DNC, and that is what scares me about their influence.